What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talking Mets with Rob. How's everybody doing? So, Mets offseason news, everything that we got to go through, qualifying offers, Mets offseason, the lack of president of baseball operations searches, GM searches, everything we're going to get into. We're going to wait a little bit for a few more people to roll up on the stream on this football Sunday. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. Hopefully, there's no shortness of news in the media with the Mets, and it's the offseason. With the Frankie Lindor, Jeff McNeil nonsense, the actual new real story came out finally. It wasn't a raccoon. It wasn't a rat. So many things that we have to go into, guys. It's just completely insane with the Mets. It's never a dull moment with this damn team. The Mets couldn't find the GM, couldn't find the president of baseball operations. Good old Sandy Alderson is back as the main guy who's going to be making the decisions for at least the near future. He will be going to the GM meetings in about a week, in a few days actually. And it's just the same old nonsense with this team, but we're going to get right into the qualifying offers, guys. Say what's up in the comments, guys. But don't forget, guys, please hit on that like button. Hit on that subscribe button, guys. Say what's up in the chat, guys. Haven't been live in a while since the divisional series in the playoffs, so it'll be fun to say what's up to everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing well. And let's get started. Captain Obvious. Oh, Nelson. All right. I remember. All right. I feel it. All right. Got to change it up a little bit every now and then. I understand. So, guys, again, if you haven't heard, the New York Mets did make a qualifying offer to Noah Syndergaard and Michael Conforto. Obviously, there was a lot of rumors regarding if the Mets were actually going to give a qualifying offer to Michael Conforto, but they did. And as soon as I realized that Sandy Alderson was going to be the main guy on the making these decisions, it was obvious he was going to make a qualifying offer to Michael Conforto because Michael Conforto is his guy. So that is the team. That is the two players that can get qualifying offers from their team, Syndergaard and Conforto. Some people might wonder why the Mets didn't give a qualifying offer to Marcus Stroman. And on Twitter and in the comments in some of my videos, people ask the same question. Why didn't the Mets give a qualifying offer to Marcus Stroman? Well, because of Major League Baseball rules, a player can only accept when a player accepts a qualifying offer in their career, they can never be offered a qualifying offer again. So the teams can continue to offer qualifying offers to the same player, but when the player actually accepts that offer, that's the only time in their career they can actually accept that qualifying offer. So Marcus Stroman is not eligible to receive a qualifying offer, which makes him a free agent. And that also means that he is an unrestricted free agent where other teams can actually talk to him as well. So let's get into a little bit of the understanding about the qualifying offer, exactly the dates that have to go that are involved with this. So obviously today, on November 3rd, eligible free agents at 9 a.m. become free agents. That means any team can go after them. The players and the teams have rights to go after, talk to one another about deals and possible sign-ins and all that fun stuff. So November 3rd, which was 4 days ago, that's when free agent officially started. Today is the last day, November 7th, for teams to offer their free agent player the qualifying offer, which is $18.4 million this year. So it's a one-year deal for $18.4 million. It's a little lower than last year, which is around $19.2, I believe. It was a little bit lower this year than last year. So that is the qualifying offer that Noah Syndergaard and Michael Conforto was offered by the New York Mets, which is every other team. That's how much they can offer as a qualifying offer to their player. So today's the last day the team can offer a qualifying offer to one of their players that are potentially can be a free agent. Because the good thing about today is that if the Mets tender a qualifying offer, which they did to Conforto and Noah Syndergaard, don't forget, guys, the Mets have exclusive rights to negotiate contracts with both of those players during the next 10 days. And we're going to get into it here. November 9th through the 11th is the GM meetings. Okay. And then on November 17th is the last day for the player to accept that qualifying offer from their team. So they got 10 days. So from today until November 17th, the player can accept the qualifying offer, or the team and the player can negotiate a contract beyond the qualifying offer. So they have the team has exclusive rights with that player. After November 17th, Syndergaard and Conforto are unrestricted free agents, meaning they can talk to any team they want because they are unrestricted. They can talk to anybody they want. But as of right now, they can only speak to the Mets regarding the contract. Obviously, the Mets, a lot of the rumors are stating that Noah Syndergaard and the Mets, either Noah Syndergaard is going to take the qualifying offer or he's going to negotiate a deal. And we heard a little bit of the rumors about him maybe coming up with a deal with the Mets, about a 2-year deal. Now, Noah Syndergaard made around $9 to $10 million in 2021. So if he takes the qualifying offer, obviously he's going to make about $8.5 million more than last year. But I'm thinking if the Mets can come with a contract around two years, $30 million, around 15 per, that might be enticing enough to bring Noah Syndergaard back to the New York Mets. He wants to be here. And I think that's a fair offer for both sides, especially since he didn't pitch until the last game or two of the season. I think it's fair for both sides. And some people say, why would Noah Syndergaard take that? Well, there's not a lot of teams that are going to trust a guy who had a lat injury and other shoulder injuries, plus including the Tommy John surgery. So not a lot of teams are going to give him big contracts, even though some might actually give him a contract. I don't know if a team is going to be willing to give him more than a 1-year deal, to a show me type of deal, especially with the collective bargaining coming up and expiring on December 2nd. So there might not be a lot of movement after the qualifying offers are accepted or declined, because I don't think a lot of players want, or a lot of teams want to start negotiations when a CBA is going to be expired, because nobody really knows the rules, because there's going to be changes when it comes to the rookie contracts. I don't think it's going to be 6 years anymore. I think it's going to be a little less. So that means rookies who are going to be coming up next year might only have 4-year team control instead of 6. So there's a lot to look into with that. I'm going to check your comments really quick, guys. What's up, Captain Obvious, SoCal, Karen, Stony, Francisco? What's up, guys? So let's see. Stony, I read your comment earlier today. Yes, I haven't gone live in a while, ever since the divisional round in the playoffs. Because obviously this is a Mets channel. Obviously, we all love baseball, but this is the Mets channel. And during the playoffs, there wasn't really much Mets news besides GM search, president of baseball operations search. So good news is that I'm back live. There is Mets news, even though a lot of the Mets news has been embarrassing over the last week and a half, with no president of baseball operations, no GM, and the nonsense that went on with Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil, with the real story that is out. So once again, guys, for the people who are just tuning in, the Mets did offer qualifying offers to Noah Syndergaard and Michael Conforto. Some might be a little shocked that the Mets actually offered Michael Conforto a qualifying offer, even because of his bad season that he had in 2021. But it does protect the Mets if Michael Conforto signs elsewhere, so they can get a draft pick. And that's important to any team. And I think it would have been, I think it's a win-win situation for the New York Mets. If Michael Conforto somehow accepts the qualifying offer, you got Michael Conforto for $18 million for 1 year, and he's playing for another contract year. Maybe he'll bounce back. But again, Michael Conforto is a good defensive player. I think he's going to bounce back. I just think it was just a bad year in a contract year, and it just messed with his head. And I think he'll come back bigger and better next year. So I think it's a win-win for both sides if he accepts it. I don't think he will because of his agent, Scott Boras. But once again, guys, Syndergaard and Conforto were given qualifying offers by the New York Mets. Let's see what happens. The Mets have exclusive rights to talk to these two players without any other team interference. So there ain't no hike in prices, trying to bump up the contracts and everything like that. The Mets have rights. They know what Michael Conforto is looking for. They did speak. As much as they tell you they didn't speak, they did speak. I tell you that right now. So just because it hasn't been leaked in the media yet, these sides have spoken. There was a report the other day, I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. I'm not sure who wrote it, but it was on Twitter that Michael Conforto is looking between 5 or 6 year deal, worth between $80 and $150 million. I'm gonna go to the latter. I think he's gonna get about $100 million. Sorry about that. I dropped my mic. Only because, guys, he's still under 30 years old. I really think that last year was a fluke for Michael Conforto. He's a solid player. I think he can bat 270, 280. He can hit 25 to 30 home runs, knocking 80 to 90 RBIs. And I think that's Michael Conforto. Yes, he is very streaky. And he's shown that every year he's gotten better and better defensively. And I think a lot of teams are looking for that. There's a lot of teams that are looking for right fielders and outfielders per se. Conforto can play center field if you really need him to, but he is a right fielder. So there's a lot of teams that are looking for left-handed power bats, and Michael Conforto is that. And there will be a team, I'm telling you guys right now, there will be a team that will jump at Michael Conforto for around $100 million for 5 or 6 years. I would not be surprised by that. So that's why it's going to be hard, especially when you lose another homegrown guy to another team. But again, can the Mets be better with a Nick Castellanos, maybe a Chris Bryant? It's a possibility. Why not? All right, let me check the comments really quick, guys. Christian, how you doing? Cole, what's up? Yeah, exactly. When it comes to Javi Baez, the Mets already finished that exclusive rights, negotiating rights. Again, the Mets have exclusive rights for the qualifying offer for 5 days. After that, 5 to 10 days, depending on 5 days. I'm sorry. So the player has 10 days to accept that qualifying offer from the team. So November 17th, we will know if Conforto or Syndergaard takes that qualifying offer. After that, they're unrestricted free agents. They can speak to anybody they want. So how's everybody doing? Do you finally remember when in the beginning of the season with the whole raccoon thing with Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil? Well, we finally knew the story. We knew it was something else other than a rat and raccoon. And I'm a little shocked because I thought Jeff McNeil was a little bit of a psycho. And to have Lindor push McNeil choke him by the throat and push him against the wall is a little shocking to me. But I mean, that's a little shocking to me, honestly, because I think, look, we all know there was tension between those two guys, and who knew that Jeff McNeil didn't want to listen to Luis Rojas and the team about shifting and everything like that. Like, I understand a lot of players don't like shifting and positioning where they're told to position and everything like that. But you got to be a team player, and that's one thing I'm a little shocked about Jeff McNeil not listening to where he has to be positioned batter by batter, and that's an absolute joke. And that's one thing where when you stop listening to your coaches, you do what you want to do on the field. And there was also reports that Lindor told McNeil, hey, you got to move a little bit more over here. And Lindor said, don't worry about it. I got it. obviously a lot more meaner than that. That's a sign where a guy is just frustrated and he's just not doing what he's being told. And that's a problem. And unfortunately, I think Jeff McNeil is going to be a really good hitter. I think he had a bad year. I think all the things with Lindor, with Baez, with the team, I think McNeil had a bad year because of all those situations. But I think McNeil is going to be an odd man out, unfortunately. Only because, he just seemed like he wasn't a team guy all of a sudden. And that's not what we want here. Now, I don't think Lindor is not the only one. McNeil's not the only one to blame. Lindor is too, because Lindor wasn't that good as well. And with his flamboyant attitude and his hair, is changing his glove, changing his shoes, acting, with the thumbs down thing with Javier Baez. Lindor is not the only one. That McNeil is not the only one to blame in this situation. Lindor is too. And the unfortunate part, teams are always going to take the side of the star. And Lindor is a star in Major League Baseball. Jeff McNeil is a middle of the road guy. He can be a 300 hitter. I mean, I think he will be, but again, it's unfortunate because I think Jeff McNeil can be an everyday second baseman. I think he can hit over 300. He can hit 15 to 20 home runs and knock in 60 to 70 RBIs. And it really does suck because I like Jeff McNeil. But at the end of the day, if he's not going to listen to the coaches, if he's going to have problems with teammates, you can't have this guy on the team. Again, Jeff McNeil was in so many different trades. A lot of teams wanted him over the last 2 years. When it came to the Robinson Cano, Edwin Diaz deal, McNeil was supposed to be in that deal. Chris Bryant was supposed, with that trade scenario, McNeil was in that trade. The same thing with Javier Baez. He was going to be in that trade as well. But time and time again, the Mets declined to put McNeil in the trade. Now, the problem that I have is that teams know the Mets are going to trying to get rid of McNeil because of this situation. And that might lower his value. And that's not what we want. But again, there's teams that are going to be looking for a guy like McNeil. And with Robinson Cano back in the picture, I think Jeff McNeil is gone, honestly. Let's just hope that we can get something for him. Maybe package him in a deal. Maybe to get another starting pitcher. Maybe to get a left. Because remember, as of right now, guys, I don't know if Dominic Smith's going to be our left fielder. I don't know if Michael Conforto is going to be our right fielder. So as of right now, I'm going on thinking the Mets don't have a left fielder. The Mets don't have a right fielder. I think our infield is completely set. I think Javier Baez is going to be coming back. It's not really breaking news, guys, but I think he's going to be back. He's going to be our second baseman. I have a real big feeling that the Mets are going to go hard after Carlos Correa to be our third baseman. I'm kind of leaning away from Chris Bryant because I think the Mets had opportunities to get Chris Bryant over the last 2 years, and they didn't do it. So maybe Carlos Correa is the guy that the Mets are really on the burner trying to get. I think that's what's going to happen. So if we can have Correa, Lindor, Baez, Alonso, and McCann behind the plate, that is not only scary defense, but that offense for the infield is absolutely insane. But even if you do get Correa and you bring back Baez, the Mets don't have a left fielder or a right fielder. Are the Mets going to go crazy and spend a lot of money? Try to get Castellanos. Maybe even sign Bryant. Maybe sign Correa. Even sign Baez. Will they go crazy? I don't know. I really don't know, guys, but it's going to be very interesting, guys. Once again, guys, please hit on that like button. Hit on that subscribe button, guys. I'm going to be with you for just an hour. I thought the Mets we're going to wait until the last possible minute to give qualifying offers. That's why I was going to make you this about a 3 or 4 hour stream. But because they did it yesterday, there is a lot to talk about. But I thought it was going to be some type of breaking news. That's why I was going to be with you through the 5 p.m. deadline to give a qualifying offer to players. But that news already broke. So so we'll be with you for an hour on this football Sunday, guys. So don't forget, hit on that like button, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit on that subscribe button, guys. The offseason has started for the New York Mets. GM search is basically out the water right now. President of baseball operations, it looks like Sandy is going to be the top guy. Maybe the Mets will get a GM. Who the hell knows? But Sandy will be the representative for the Mets at the GM meetings on Monday through the 11th on Wednesday. So he is our representative for the Mets, whatever that's supposed to mean. Once again, Sandy Olson is going to be back with this team, which pisses me off, but I'm going to try to think positive. That's right, guys. Breaking news. I'm going to think positive. I think Cohen spoke to Sandy Olson, and I think Sandy Olson is going to be a lot more aggressive this offseason because I don't think Steve Cohen is very happy with Sandy Olson and with the team. I don't know how much money Cohen is going to spend, but I do have a feeling this payroll is going to jump up $50 million, $60 million, if not more. I think we're going to be in the top 3 in payroll when the offseason is over. I would not be surprised if Baez is back. That's around 120 to $150 million. I'm not including the Cano contract. I'm just looking into the fact that how much can the Mets add to payroll? We have to fill holes. Right now, I think we're going to need a third baseman, left fielder, and right fielder. That right there is a lot of money, guys. And the only guys that I actually want on this team is Correa, Bryant, and Baez. So if we can get 2 out of the 3, fine. Nick Castellanos. Hey, Stoney, you just never know, man. You just never know. Like I said, I think Steve Cohen is going to spend money. I think he promised the owners last year he wasn't going to go crazy. So I think that's why he didn't go nuts and just play it a little easier when it comes to spending last year. I think things are changing this year. He is the owner. There is no doubt about it. I think to get the votes, I think he promised the owners not to spend too much his first year. Oh, Hayden, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I had this for a while, but this is the new hoodie by the 7-Line. Let me move the banner really quick. This is the new 7-Line hoodie. Let me see if I can stand up here. There we go. So it has all the names of the Mets. Strawberry has 86, 96, 1969. Has Gooden. It has Kuz. All the great Mets. On it, it's got Hernandez. It got Franco. It's got Carter. It's got Strawberry, Seaver, Kuzman. All of those. It says Queens. It says Amazins, Shea, all that fun stuff. So if it's on the 7-Line website as well, this is actually from the Mets website, but this is from the 7-Line. They just came out with this jersey. This hoodie. I'm sorry. It comes in a T-shirt as well. So I like. Drop my mic. Sorry guys, give me a second. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I got a little excited there. All right, there's my mic. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Alrighty. So that's the hoodie. So, and the hat's pretty cool too. I try to go all Mr. Met today. Yeah, you know what's funny, Stoney, with the whole VR thing? Now, when I got the news on Twitter from a Spanish reporter that is very close to Jonathan VR, they were supposed to be speaking about a contract. Now, that could still be true. We just haven't heard nothing. But again, I think the Mets are trying to hold off until they got a GM or president of baseball operations. Because that didn't happen, now Sandy Alderson is the guy. So I think Sandy Alderson is going to start whatever contract talks he's going to talk about or speak about what these players. So I think you're going to hear in the next week or so. The GM meetings start on Monday. So you're going to hear some rumblings about guys like VR and guys like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to hear some news about that. I will be doing a video tomorrow about that Japanese star outfielder that's supposed to be very good. I'm going to do a little bit of basically get bio about that player tomorrow. So check that out tomorrow, guys. But we got 25 viewers right now in the stream, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit on that subscribe button, guys. If you're new to the channel, say what's up in the chat, guys. Do not be shy. We are all Mets fans here, having fun, talking about the offseason, talking about the qualifying offers, talking about possible free agents the Mets can get. If about the whole Lindor McNeil scenario, we're here, guys, talking about everything. Captain Obvious, no Marte. I don't want Marte, guys. Wolfpack, how you doing? I don't know about Marte. He's getting up there in age, and I think Brandon Nimmo showed you, as long as he can stay healthy, he can be an everyday center fielder. Even though I was very, very critical of Brandon Nimmo before the season, I didn't think he was going to make that big stride he did defensively. I didn't worry about Nimmo offensively. But defensively, he shocked me how much better he got. Now, you could say that was positioned in by the Mets, but if it makes him better, that's fine with me. I think Brandon Nimmo is solidified himself this year. I don't mind him as a center fielder. So I don't think Marte is a good move for the Mets because he's over 30. I don't know how many more years he has left in center field, and I don't think giving him a big contract because he's going to be looking for about a 3, 4, 5-year contract. I don't know if I can actually go into that area with Starlin Marte. I don't want nobody over 30 years old. It's a little scary to me. Correa, Bryant, Baez, we'll go with that. SoCal, 2 years in a row, Mets still don't have a president of baseball. It's actually absolutely pathetic. Wolfpack, I'll get to your Javi Baez in a second. Yeah, it is a joke, but you know, I don't understand why the Mets didn't find out if they can get permission before the season ended. Just find out instead of wasting your time during the offseason. And it is a joke. I don't know what the Mets are saying, Cohen and Alderson are saying, but I think the main factor why the Mets don't have a president of baseball operations or a GM is because I don't think anybody wants to be under Sandy Alderson. It's just that simple. So I think Sandy Alderson is the big reason, and I guarantee you Sandy Alderson is gone after this year, and that's when I think more people will be willing to take the job next year. Wolfpack. So when it comes to Javi Baez, I think the Mets are going to sign him. It's just that simple. I kind of think the only reason why I think the Mets are going to go after Javi Baez, one, he's Lindor's buddy, and Lindor has Cohen's ear. I do think Baez, when he came back from injury, showed the discipline at the plate. He didn't strike out as much. He walked a little bit more. If we're getting that type of Baez, that was MVP Baez there. And if we can get that type of Baez, I take him in a heartbeat. If you got to pay him $130, $140 million, 5, 6 years, do it. But that can't be the only move the Mets can make. If it has to, I'm telling you right now, if the Mets bring back Baez, they better bring one more big free agent that is not currently on the team. Either Bryant, Correa, or Castellanos. If you get one of those guys, then whatever the Mets do after that, you want to bring back Stroman? I'm good. If you want to think about getting somebody else, I'm okay with that too. But the Mets need to fill up their pitching staff. I think they have to get a third baseman. I don't want JD Davies back next year. He's terrible. I don't trust him. At third base, he's a DH. Maybe you want to keep him as a DH. I don't know. But once again, guys, the Mets probably going to bring back Baez. I'll be shocked if they didn't. But one more guy, Bryant, Castellanos, Correa. Give me one of those guys, and now we're talking. Mets are spending money. Bring back Syndergaard. We'll see what happens with Michael Conforto. We'll see. You know, We still got to look at a left fielder. Are we going to bring back Dominic Smith? I don't know. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you for the compliment. Let's see. Hayden, Rob, would you rather the Mets take the route of going for a short-term third baseman till Beatty comes? Yeah, I see it as this. That's why I like Correa. And listen, I'm not going to complain if the Mets get Correa for third base, and we'll figure out what we do with Beatty. We still got Vientos as well. So, and I think Vientos is on track to possibly be a guy who can actually start for the Mets at third base. He's a power bat. He's very good defensively. But, if you sign Correa, say, for a 5 or 6 year deal, that means Brett Beatty, who is projected to be here in 2023, is he trade bait? Maybe. I still think Alvarez is untouchable. I think apparently Mauricio is probably untouchable, which I don't understand why. He has nowhere to play. If the Mets get Baez, shortstop and second base are out for Mauricio. So that's also pointless as well. And now you have Mauricio. Now, say if somehow crazy offseason the Mets sign Baez, Mets sign Correa. There is your second, third base, and shortstop for the next 6 to 10 years. What do you do with Mauricio? What do you do with Brett Beatty? What do you do with Mark Vientos? Why are you keeping them in your system? You might as well use them as trade bait and get some starting pitching. Why not, right? You might as well use them as trade bait because they basically taking up space in the minor league system for no reason. Because they have nowhere to play. So I don't understand what the Mets are trying to do here. And I've been saying this since the first day I started my channel. When the Mets signed Lindor and they brought in Baez, it basically said to me that Ronnie Mauricio is pointless in this farm system. Because as soon as you got Lindor, Mauricio should have been playing either third base or second base or starting to learn that position. Because where is he going to play? And that's why I think if the Mets, that's why I didn't want Sandy Olson being the main guy for making trades and getting free agents, because he worries too much about the farm system when this team had an opportunity to win a division this year and possibly go further. So I just don't understand the aspect of everybody wants Correa, right? Everybody was talking about, wow, imagine if the Mets can get Correa and Baez for the infield. Now you have one shortstop and 2 third basemen in your farm system that have nowhere to go on this team. So now people know that their value is much lower now. Because what are the Mets going to do with him? Keep him in the farm system for 5 years? Makes no sense. But that's the Mets for you. Tanya, do you think Correa will accept offer from Astros? Yeah, I don't know. I think he can get more than that. And even though that's a very fair offer from the Astros, I don't think that Correa wants to go back to Houston, in my opinion. I think he wants to come on the East Coast, if that's going to be the Yankees, the Mets. I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies look into it as well. Do they really have a shortstop? They got Gregorius, but again, he's on his last leg as well. So watch out for the Phillies as well. But I don't think he's going to take the offer, but Correa will be smart not to take that offer from the Astros, because that shows other teams that he's not willing to take anything less than that. He will want more than that. I don't think he's going to sign for that deal the Astros gave with any other team. So you're looking at least 6 years, over $150 million. Yeah, you know what? Look, the Yankees are the biggest hypocrites in sports. And I'm not saying that as a Met fan. I'm saying that as a baseball fan from a perspective, seeing how Yankee fans spoke about the Astros and talk about being cheaters, booing the Astros this year at home, trash cans, all that stuff. F. Altuve, all that craziness, right? But yet, they have one of the biggest cheaters in their rotation in Garrett Cole. All of a sudden, Yankee fans want Carlos Correa, who was a part of that cheating scandal, right? Listen, it shows right here. Stoney, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that donation, buddy. Thank you. I just don't understand the hypocritical part of the Yankee fan. You've seen right here how good Carlos Correa is past this cheating scandal. He was one of the most clutch hitters on the Astros. He is great defensively, which is no reason why it has to do nothing with cheating. He had great this year. I'm gonna pull up his stats. I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but I'm gonna check them right now. Let me get my MLB app up here. Sorry guys, let me just pull it up. All right, looking roster. So Carlos Correa. Where is he? What the hell? Oh, I see what they did. All right, let me just Google it really quick. All right. So this year, let me check his stats. God, they got all this qualifying offer stuff. And all right. Sorry, guys. Let me go to Baseball Reference. That's all right. So in 2021, he batted 279, 26 home runs. And of course, they don't give you the RBIs really quick. He had 92 RBIs, 26 home runs, and he batted 279. So he batted 279, 26 home runs, 92 RBIs. That's fine with me. I take that every day of the week. The Mets didn't even have that this year, besides Alonso, especially with average. And listen, I take Carlos Correa in a heartbeat. So I think he's going to get more than the $150 million the Astros are offering. And I'm not surprised by that. And that's okay, because he is a really good player. He's a clutch. The Mets need guys who are not afraid of the moment. I'm not afraid of the spotlight. Carlos Correa is not afraid of the spotlight. Not only was he getting booed throughout MLB, all the stadiums, he was getting ridiculed on Twitter, ridiculed in social media everywhere. Yet he performed in the season. He performed in the playoffs for the Astros. That's a guy I want on my team. If I had to choose between Baez or Correa, I want Correa. Correa doesn't take any nonsense. I can assure you he's not going to have that dumbs down nonsense that Javi Baez did. Even though Baez performed, I think Correa, is a better all-around player than Javi Baez. But can we get both of them? I don't know. Like I said, if the Mets somehow pull it off and get Baez and Correa, that shows you how incompetent this team is. Not because they can make that deal. That would be awesome. But because they had opportunities to trade Mauricio and possibly trade Beatty for big-time starting pitcher, right? And they didn't do it. They held on to him. But, hey, Stoney, I'm telling you right now. Buddy. Steve Cohen is going to spend money this year. It's just a matter of how much. MLB Joey, I don't know. I don't think Baez is going to take a short-term deal, my friend. Listen, me personally, if he would want to take that, I'll be happy. Then let's go get Correa right now, buddy. Christian, the Yankees and Dodgers cheated too. Yeah, listen, a lot of teams cheated. And look, the Yankees were whistling. We saw that with the Mets, the Subway Series. Boston said it about the Yankees. The Mets said it about the Yankees. They cheated. That's all. Listen, I don't even care about that. Listen, if the Mets did what the Astros did in 2017, if the Mets had a World Series, do you think I'd give a damn? Nope. I would be wearing my World Champion t-shirt every day. I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cared about the steroid era for how many years? A-Rod, 2009, was taking steroids. They won the World Series, right? Who cares? They got a World Series. Many other teams had players that was probably doing cheating as well that we don't know about. I don't care. You want to cheat? Go ahead. If my team wins the World Series, I don't care what anybody says. I would buy the hat. I buy the T-shirt. I buy the flag. I buy a plaque. I buy so much. I'd be broke. I don't care if they cheated. But what it shows you with Carlos Correa, after the cheating scandal, he got better and better. Look at the year he had. 279, 26 homers, 92 RBIs. I take that on the Mets in a heartbeat, guys. Yeah, Cano as well in 2009 with the Yankees. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. He was taking steroids. Listen, if the Mets decide to keep Cano, and I think they will, if they keep Cano, they sign Harvey. Now listen, if they keep Cano, give me Baez or Correa for third base, I'd be happy. But I'm telling you right now, Cano can be an everyday DH. He can still hit. I'm telling you, he can still hit. He don't have to play the field. Put him in the DH spot. I take that in a heartbeat. Yeah, of course, Christian. Yeah, a lot of teams did. It's just a matter of. That's why I think the Yankee fans are completely hypocritical, and the Dodgers too, Dodger fans as well. But mostly the Yankee fans because I hear them every day on WFAN and everything like that. You know, Yankee fans went crazy with the Astros. F. Altuve, trash cans, booing the Astros, everything like that. But yet they had the biggest cheater in their starting rotation. Garrett Cole was a shell of himself after that spider tech stuff. And that's why I worry about the Yankees might going after Marcus Stroman, which might hurt the Mets as well. So that's another thing. Thomas, I don't think so. The Mets can't afford it. Trust me. Listen, there's money coming off the books as well. And I don't think we have to worry about money right now, guys. This is not the Wilpon Mets, Thomas. I understand what you mean, but I'm telling you right now, the Mets are going to spend money. You know, I'm not including the players that they have to, if they're going to sign Stroman, they're going to sign Syndergaard. That's money right there. I'm looking at Stroman to get around $90 to $100 million over 4 or 5 years. That's what I think. I do have a feeling the Mets are going to get Baez back. I just had that feeling. Maybe Baez will take a discount. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that cheap. Maybe $100 to $120 million for Baez. Look, I think the Mets in this offseason are going to spend a lot of money. They're going to be involved in every player possible. I still want Chris Bryant. You guys know if you followed my channel from the beginning of last year, I wanted Chris Bryant. No doubt about it. Sorry, guys. I just have to turn on my Cowboys. I don't know why I had the Giants on because I don't care about them. Turn on the Giants really quick. There we go. My Cowboys. Even though they're losing 13-0, the freaking Broncos. Sorry, Hayden. I know that's your team. So, let's see. Hayden, Rob, looking at the current rosters, who's the best candidate for DH? Yeah, I'm thinking it's Cano, honestly. Like, I don't think Davis is going to be on this team. I'm not sure about Dominic Smith, what the Mets are going to do with him. Listen, J.D. Davis, Jeff McNeil, Dominic Smith. Put them on the trade block, see what you can get for them. And make Robinson Cano your everyday DH. And spend money. The Mets, as much as everybody talked about, yeah, they spent money. But they could have spent a hell of a lot more. They went cheap on McCann. They didn't want to go after Real Muto. They saved a lot of money bringing in James McCann. We know about the Bauer situation, but the Mets went hard after Bauer. They didn't get Bauer. You know, every big free agent they didn't get. They traded for Lindor. They signed Lindor. I do feel like the Mets are gonna be players in every free agent possible, and I think now you want to call about the big free agents: Correa, Bryant, Castellanos, Baez. I think they're gonna get 2 out of the 4. That's just my opinion. Now, this Japanese guy, who is an outfielder, is supposed to be very good. He's a superstar in Japan. Like I said, I'm going to do a video tomorrow about him. I'm going to give you his bio, his career stats, his age, everything you need to know about him. He's going to be up for grabs. Maybe the Mets go after him. I don't know. Hey, you want to put him in left field? I'll be happy. He'd probably be better than Dominic Smith. Yeah, RG, you see, it's not just McNeil about him being a 300 hitter. He has problems with Lindor and probably Baez as well. He didn't listen to his manager and the team about defensive positioning. He's starting to become a problem with this team. Now, look, I would take Jeff McNeil on. I'll keep him. Honestly. But Cano is not going to have anything to do with Jeff McNeil. Cano is not going to play second base. Cano will be a DH. And I'll tell you right now, Cano can still hit. You know, he's probably not going to be taking steroids. He got caught. You're probably back off of that. But Cano can still be a 280 hitter. And if he can stay off the field and stay healthy, I think he can hit. My opinion. Leon, Matt Chapman, I don't think the Mets are going to go that route. Now, I don't know if you were here earlier listening, but when it comes to third base and the amount of good third basemen we have in the farm system, and possibly Mauricio, we got Vientos, we got Beatty, and if you want to talk about Mauricio playing third base, that is your opinion. I don't think he can play third base, but if you're gonna have all those guys in a farm system, if you want to use Mauricio in a package for Matt Chapman, I'll take Matt Chapman in a heartbeat. Now that takes away Correa most likely, if that's what you want to do. Matt Chapman has a hip issue. He wasn't great for the A's, but listen, I take Matt Chapman. That's not a problem. Now, can Correa play second base? Probably. Would you rather have Correa at second base? Or would you rather have Baez at second base? Now, you got to take into consideration, will that piss off Lindor bringing in Correa instead of Baez? I don't think you could look at it that way, but you might have to, unfortunately. But, yeah, he is in line with Beatty. But again, you got to look at the Billy Bean factor as well. Billy Bean is not stupid. If you try to trade for Matt Chapman, who do you think he's going to look at? He needs the third baseman, right? He's probably going to look at Mauricio. Probably going to look at Beatty. Maybe he'll look at Vientos. But Mauricio and Beatty is going to be the two on his eye, for sure. Are you willing to give a Mauricio up? Possibly Beatty? Because that's what Billy Bean's going to look at for Matt Chapman. You have to look at that. Oh, RG, look. I don't know what was up with McNeil last year. If it was the whole Lindor thing, the whole Baez thing, the whole not listening to the team all of a sudden for defensive positioning. I think McNeil would bounce back. But did he burn too many bridges last year to bring him back? I don't know. You know, ever since Chili Davis left, he has been bad as well. So I don't know. There's so many factors when it comes to Jeff McNeil. Are you going to risk bringing him back, knowing that Lindor and McNeil have problems, and that's your double play combo? If you bring McNeil back, that means Baez is probably not going to come back. Unless you bring Baez back as your third baseman. And I don't know if Baez is a good third baseman, better than he is at second base. So there's a lot of factors you have to take into consideration, RG. But I understand what you mean. I understand. Jose, this offseason sucks. So far. The Mets couldn't get a GM, couldn't get a president of baseball operations. Who the hell knows what they're going to do? Sandy Alderson is making the decisions again, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, RG, but if he's not listening to the team, why would he listen? And who knows if the team was telling him, hey, you got to start hitting the other way. You got to stop making contact. Stop pulling the ball. Stop with that uppercut swing. Maybe the team was telling him, and McNeil was like, I don't want to do it. We don't know that. But we do know McNeil wasn't listening about defensive positioning, which actually helped this team this year. If you looked at the defensive stats, the Mets were a lot better defensively because of defensive positioning. And McNeil didn't want to listen to that. He has a problem with Lindor, which entails has a problem with Baez as well. All those factor in to team chemistry as well. And I don't know if McNeil can get back to the way he was in 2019, he's my second baseman. That's it. Lindor has to suck it up. But as we know, Lindor ain't going anywhere. You can't have Lindor bitchy as well. But I think McNeil can still be that 300 hitter we're talking about. Jose, will we ever get a president of baseball operations candidate? I don't know. I have no idea. Clearly not this year. Who knows if we're ever going to get a GM either. But Sandy's running it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jose, I talked about it earlier. I don't know if you were here. Earlier in the stream, I talked about the reason why I think people don't want to come here is because they don't want to be under Sandy Alderson because they know he's going to have a big say in what goes on. And I don't blame people. The people that they tried to get, you want to hear about Stearns, who didn't get permission, Billy Bean, whoever you want to bring in, whoever you want to talk about, Raquel that they just spoke about. All these people have jobs. Why would they leave their position when they have say in their position in their position at the moment to come to the Mets to have somebody over you who has a big say in the organization? It's not a good way to. Why would you leave a team that you know to come to an unknown just to have a title and still have somebody tell you what to do? Stoney, I want Sabian, but the Mets don't want Sabian. They don't even want to interview him. Whatever reason, I don't know if Sandy Olson has a conflict with Sabian. I don't know. But the Mets did not do their due diligence on Brian Sabian is embarrassing. And the only reason I can think of is that Sandy Olson has an issue with Brian Sabian from the past. I don't know what it is. We don't know. But I think that's what it is. So, I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know. So let me recap from the beginning of my stream. I'm going to end this stream at 2 o'clock, guys, since basically I thought there was going to be a little bit of news. I thought before when I made this stream yesterday, before the Mets made the qualifying offers to Conforto and Syndergaard, I thought the Mets were going to wait until last minute, meaning today, the deadline, but they didn't. That's why I made the stream thinking it was going to go much longer into 5 o'clock into the deadline, but we'll see. So we're going to recap right here, guys. So once again, the qualifying offer this year is $18.4 million. That's what a team can offer their free agents for the 1 year, $18.4 million qualifying offer. That is the number this year. Obviously, I just said it. The Mets offered the qualifying contract to Syndergaard and Michael Conforto. Obviously, during the season and right after the season ended, a lot of people were wondering if the Mets were actually going to give a qualifying offer to Michael Conforto. Obviously, they did. So we are expecting Michael Conforto to decline it, but hey, you never know. We already know Scott Boras is vetting other teams to see what his client can get in the open market. If Michael Conforto doesn't feel comfortable with the numbers he's hearing from Scott Boras, 18.4 is not too shabby. Maybe he'll take it. We'll see. But I do think the Mets and Syndergaard are going to come to an agreement, not with the qualifying offer, but for a 2-year deal worth around $30 to $31 million. That's just my opinion. Only because I think Syndergaard wants to be here. There's not a lot of movement with Syndergaard with other teams. I don't think other teams are going to take the risk with Syndergaard with the lat injury. He had a little bit of a shoulder issue before he had the elbow injury with Tommy John. A lot of teams are not going to go that route. I think if the Mets can go 2 years, $30 million, it's probably what other teams are going to go. And I think Syndergaard, being familiar with the Mets, wants to be here. So say if Syndergaard takes the contract, 2 years, $30 million, that means we have Carrasco. Hopefully DeGrom is healthy. We got Carrasco, DeGrom, Syndergaard. And if you want to talk about McGill, we'll put him in there too as your fourth starter. So that means we need one more guy. Is it going to be Marcus Stroman? We'll see. We just have to wait and see. So that is it. $18.4 million is a qualifying offer. The Mets offered it to Conforto and Syndergaard. The New York Mets, the players that are offered a qualifying contract have until November 17th, 10 days, to make up their mind. If they don't accept a qualifying offer by November 17th, they're officially an unrestricted free agent and they can talk to any team they want. So that is the news right now. Let me look at the comments before I go, guys. I don't know if the Conforto will stay. We shall see. RG, I tend to agree with you. I like Castellanos. It's just a matter of there's going to be a lot of buyers for Castellanos, and the price is going to go up and up and up. But I don't think the Mets are going to give a contract to Michael Conforto 3, 4, 5 years. I don't think they're going to do that. If Conforto don't take that qualifying offer, I think he's gone, unfortunately. But that puts another hole with the Mets. Now the Mets have a hole in right field. Mets have a hole in left field. Mets have a hole at third base. Mets have a hole at second base, technically. So, once again, guys, let me just give me 1 second. Alrighty. Once again, guys, I really do appreciate everybody tuning in today, guys. This was supposed to be a longer stream, but because the Mets already made the qualifying offers to the team, there wasn't a lot of breaking news. But we got through everything. We got through the qualifying offers, $18.4 million. The Mets offered it to Conforto and Syndergaard. They do have 10 days until November 17th to accept or decline the qualifying offer. And after that, they don't accept it, they're unrestricted free agents. So that is what is going on right now with the New York Mets. Mets have no GM. Mets have no president of baseball operations. Sandy Alderson is going to be the representative for the New York Mets during the GM meetings that start on Monday and end Wednesday, the 9th through the 11th. Look out for the video that I will be doing tomorrow about the Japanese outfielder that is supposed to be put on the market for Major League Baseball teams to sign. I'll be doing a video about him tomorrow, about his age, his bio, his stats, everything you need to know about him. Can the Mets possibly go after him? We will see. I'll let you guys know. I'll dig a little deeper to see if I can find some information about the Mets' interest in that Japanese star. So check that out tomorrow, guys. Don't forget, guys, please hit on that like button. Hit on that subscribe button, guys. I really do appreciate everybody here today. Until next time, guys, I love you. Thank you for all the support you've been giving me over the year that I've been doing this channel. I really do appreciate it, but we're only getting started, guys. Mets offseason basically starts today. Let's see what the Mets do. Hopefully, Sandy Olson does a better job than 2021 offseason. Let's just hope. Everybody tuned in. I really do appreciate it. Met fans, you know the deal. As always, let's go Mets. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your football Sunday. Let's see what Michael Conforto and Syndergaard does. Hopefully, we find out very soon what they do. And let's hope the Mets have a good offseason, guys. I will be with you every step of the way. Have a good day, everybody. Let's go Mets. See you next time.